Hello and welcome back to another video with the current Lords of the Fallen 2023 or Lords of the Fallen 2, because it's not the first game if you need to know. So, the hype around this game is real currently. People are either endlessly prizing it into the sky or condemning it to the bowels of hell with how shitty it is. So what is it? As someone who has completed my own playthrough of this game, I can verify it is a very good game, but it has its weaknesses. Look how little people have made it to the end content, 5.7, 5.8, and when I started it was probably only half of it when I got the achievements. This had never happened to me before, that I started so late in the game, and I'm one of the few who completed it very early compared to others. I'm the spear tip. I'm at the front, so to say. This has never happened to me before. But I can understand why it is happening, because people are stopping to play because they feel like the game is treating them very unfairly. Which it is, of course. It's supposed to be challenging, but there are a lot of moments where people are just in disbelief to how unfair and hard this game can be. Because not only are there monsters disguising themselves as items, the platforming, or in general the routes that you have to take through the levels, can be very unforgiving, very annoying. They are not hard, but they are annoying. And if you die, especially if you have already died and you try to go back and collect your soul, so to say, and you lose everything, you have really gained nothing and you are only frustrated. Now, of course, this is happening to everyone in all kinds of Souls games, but here is the catch, and that is that unlike most other Souls games, Lords of the Fallen is very stressful, because not only are there a lot of powerful enemies that you must constantly fight and that can kill you very easily if you slip up or choke or lose your concentration, for example. And it is just never stopping, that you feel like you are on the clock, especially if some of these enemies defeats you and sends you to Umbral. In Umbral there are a lot of annoying pesky flies coming at you constantly. They are also not very problematic, they are not very strong, but they are always in your face, and that is annoying. It really feels like you must work to progress, and I can understand that not many people like it. This game is not giving you room to breathe. Or, as another very famous YouTuber has said,
for example, the levels have a huge amount of these worthless mob enemies everywhere. They often just feel endless. It's frustrating to the point that I just stopped clearing enemy groups at some point and would run past them to get to where I was, and then maybe start clearing them again and explore around. But often not even worth it, I felt. I would just run past that as well. That's notable because I've never done that before. In any of the Souls-likes that I've played, in any of the Souls games that I've played, I've never not cleared an area of enemies and explored quietly and carefully. That's like my favorite thing. I am a cautious, Roomba-like player that goes around in small semicircles until I'm sure that I've explored everything in the environment. Not so here.
In short, Lords of the Fallen 2023 is not giving you much room to breathe, and you are always feeling pressured, no matter in which area you are. You will always feel this constant sense of being challenged, which can be a good thing, of course, but man, I have really never felt it this much in Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls 3, for example. Never. And Elden Ring 2. And I died a lot. I must say I died a lot. And it really annoyed me a lot, but I also made good progress, because maybe I was lucky, maybe I was just smart and very observant, but I was very good in analyzing what works and how to progress, how to make my weapon stronger, how to make my character stronger, At one point I was even curious and went into the internet and checked a guide video, and the guide video was basically like, congratulations, you're already making everything correct to 80%, I would say. There was not much room for improvement, but I did not die too much, to say it in another way. And as you can see here right now, I have a few more characters, and Iserlift the Hobo is the Pyromancer, and oh my god, the Pyromancer, I would need to check a guide video for that one, because my first one was the Dark Crusader, and it really feels like, yeah, the Fire Cultist is a lot harder than other classes. It really is an advanced class. If you do not know what you're doing, it feels like, even though there's only one difficulty, you really play on another difficulty. And if you do not find a way, to progress fairly, I wouldn't say easily, fairly efficiently, you will feel too much pressure and it will be too exhausting and you will quit the game. And I would have not expected to see this happening to a very famous other streamer.
I don't know if I want to keep playing. It's a tiresome game. I just don't want to do it. That's what it comes down to. I just don't want to do it. You're right. Like, I could tell which ones those are and which ones there aren't. But I just don't want to do it. You have to pay attention. I don't want to, like, have to have, like, that level of, like... It's just there's always, like, a bunch of mobs. And, like, the mobs are, like, constantly trying to, like, overwhelm you. You fight a mob, and then you're getting attacked from the other side. Like, I'm just gonna uninstall this game.
And that is coming from someone who has beat Malenia with his own original build, who is using the most moronic build, as he said. He wants to play a game with as little thought as possible and beat it in the most stupid way just to show how good he is. This is what he said about Elden Ring back in the day. And Elden Ring, the best Souls game that FromSoft has ever released. Malenia is one of the hardest bosses in the game, and she has killed so many people, and he defeated her with his own unique build. Someone who has the mental endurance and capacity to do this cannot finish Lords of the Fallen 2023. And I can totally see why. Because when I saw how little damage he was doing with a build that should be stronger, and he cannot figure out why he is not doing so much damage, then I can totally see why he quit. This game has some incredible visuals and it has some very epic bosses. It is, for some reason, even though it is so polished, very restricted, because in other Souls games there are alternative routes, and Elden Ring is an open world game because I played Elden Ring before this, the last Souls, like, so to say, from the godfathers of the Souls genre, FromSoft. I have felt it only more in Lords of the Fallen. You have a lot of tube-like levels where you have to traverse to these tube-like paths full of enemies, and they are always there, and if you die you always have to bypass them again. If you were a Dark Souls 2 player and you would die a lot, at least you could kill the enemies 15 times. Each time they must respawn, you must hit at the bonfire. and then they would be gone. Then they would not respawn again. But there's no such thing in Lords of the Fallen, and it can wear you down again and again to traverse the same route endlessly. It is a really tough game in that sense, because you are most of the time alone, not many people play with friends. And there's also this weird stigma in the community that Zeus games are not meant to be played with friends or with co-op partners. You have to do it alone, otherwise you have cheated, you have failed in your mission to prove that you are a good player. You should be ashamed, and I think a lot of people also want to prove to themselves this character, man, the other character looks like Malenia. Oh god, I'm getting distracted! Okay, you have to prove to yourself that you are the big hot shit and that you can do everything by yourself, and I'm not like that. I have someone that I can play these games with, and the only reason why I didn't was because this person had no time currently, but it was okay, because my weapon was powerful, my build was powerful, I was powerful, and yeah, even when I died, I took it as a challenge. I don't know why, but I had a really great pain threshold in that sense, and a real big tolerance for being reset. I don't know why. Normally I'm not like this. Normally I'm a way more impatient kind of guy. Yeah. And I can see that this is turning a lot of people off, because even though you have knowledge from other Souls games, I have knowledge from Darksouls 2 back in the day, Darksouls 3 and Elden Ring, and a few other games and that I cannot recall right now, but this game was vastly different. Even if you have experience, you need to watch a guide, probably. Just do it. Just don't be ashamed. Don't struggle in vain. If you have played this game and you are annoyed at how hard it is, accept help. You do not need to summon someone else for co-op. Just do it yourself, but do it with... Go with an overpowered build or something, I don't know, because it's really too annoying. I must really say, yeah, it's too annoying. There are so many trash mobs, and you can only call them trash mobs. They are not cool, they are repetitive. Just go for it, just do it. And when has this moment come that I transitioned? I was always an action RPG kinda guy. I was always a Souls-like kinda guy. And remembering how this game felt for most of the time, I had a better time with V-Rising. Even though V-Rising is, yeah, it is really relaxing. It's not as big, it's not as epic, it's also epic. It has a different camera angle that I do not like, but it was really beautiful and relaxing, and you can build your own castle, you know. I'm really looking forward to go back to V-Rising at a nice opportunity, probably when some kind of other DLC is coming out or some kind of event, or if who was the developer studio again? I forgot the name. If the developers will reverse the decision that you can build bigger castles again right up to the road, and that the environments are not so tiny again, I really look forward to build a really big castle. But currently in the game there are only 2 or 3 locations probably where something comes even close to my vision, and this is why I'm not making V-Rising videos currently, because yeah, I feel like I already did everything, and man, wasn't this about Lords of the Fallen too? But yeah, mental exhaustion. I'm trying to make this video now over half of a day because I'm always getting interrupted. But yeah, this is why Lords of the Fallen 2 is so unpopular. The material that you see on YouTube is way more epic. The trailers that I just used to show you, I don't know, to have you look at something in the background that was so epic looking. It does not look so epic if you play the game. I mean, the environments and stuff are in the game. but it's way more epic in the trailers. And the camera angles are way better. Camera angles. What is this? I know these are not V-rising camera angles. It's way too linear. Similar to what I did in Baldur's Gate 3. The camera is... I don't know if it's fully 3D, if you can look very high upwards, but you can look straight. You know, this is what the world needs. Mods and modifications. A few words of wisdom to close this video with. Do not be afraid to get some help. Do not feel ashamed to use an overpowered build or to watch guide videos if you want to finish Lords of the Fallen 2, because there is no point in suffering unnecessarily. I am kinda epic and get good godlike and stuff. Of course I can do it without guiding myself completely. Yeah, just kidding, but yeah, I finished it very early. I came in the game when I was almost a 70% player who beat Pieta in the beginning of the game, and I finished below the 1% forefront of people. Yeah. Really weird. I was in the top 10 or top 7% in Elden Ring, and now I'm at the most forefront of forefronts. So weird. Yeah, but this is all that I wanted to say for today. Not going off topic again all the time. Man, this looks nice. Awesome, man. Yeah, have a nice day. Lawful Based, checking out, getting mentally exhausted. And I will link to you the channels that I used for the background footage. Have a good time, and until next time.